Hi, welcome to House of Vanity. You're here with me today, Kaylee, and my beautiful model, Ella. We're here to create this fab Valentine's Day pink glossy look. And here is how. Keep watching. So I've already primed Ella's lips with some Paw Paw lip balm, and she's got the gold OK eye masks on, prepping her under eye. We're going to start with the brows and the eye makeup. I'm going in with the MAC eyebrow pencil in Stud, which is a nice dark colour, but it's not black. When my client's hair is really dark, I prefer to use a very dark brown rather than a black eyebrow pencil, just because I don't want to make it too dark. Ella's got a really great eyebrow shape, so I'm just following her natural eyebrow shape, and I'm going along the top line first. So just bringing the eyebrow tail out and just making sure the arch continues the whole way along. Quite often when you're doing clients' makeup, the brow here will start to fade away. So you just want to make sure that that continues the whole way along to bring that arch out really nicely. You just want to match those up. So just go back in and do exactly the same thing on the other side. Quite often, even on yourself, you'll find that you've got one brow that's better than the other. So always do your worst brow first, and then you can match them up easier. I like to spend a bit of time on the brows just to make sure that they are all set in place and you've got exactly what you're looking for. Next, I'm going to use my Nema brush in Emma, which is a nice flat head brush. It's really going to help to carve out underneath the brows, correct any mistakes that I might have made when I'm doing the brows, and also set the base perfectly ready for your eyeshadow. These do come in 5 shades, and they're the P. Louise eyeshadow base. I'm going to go in with colour 1, also because the look we're doing is a really white out lid. It's going to be slightly lighter than her skin tone. So just pop a bit of the product onto the back of your hand to warm the product up. And I like to shape my brush and just make sure I've got a really nice rounded top edge on the brush. Start under the brow but midway out with a flat brush. So you just want to follow along what you've just done as closely as possible. But I do leave a little bit of a gap, and I'll show you why in a second. And then when I've got hardly any product left on, I go back up to this line that I initially started on and just feed it out a little bit so it's not completely harsh line. And then you just take the flat head of your brush and you just want to pat along the eyelid to really set that base. Anyone that's used any of the P. Louise products or watched any of her tutorials will know that this technique is like her favourite thing. So when she brought out a shadow base, it was designed in a way that that's how it's set. So it still remains a bit tacky, but it really holds on that eyeshadow, and you don't need to set it with any powders, you just leave it as is. So you want to take your MAC 217 brush, which is a nice fluffy top brush, and you want to take this brush and just blend out any of the edges that you overlapped with to make that all seamless, so the eye just goes straight into the other skin. There's no harsh lines with the base. And I just do that up into the brows as well, just to work that product up a little bit so there's no really harsh lines anywhere. So next we're going to start on the eyelids. Taking my Morphe R40 brush, really nice fluffy top. We're going to work in the first colour, which we call your transition shade. We're going to use the Lime Crime Venus XL palette, and to start off with, we're going to go in with Blank Canvas, and we're going to mix that with Scallop. So mixing those two shades together, just to create a really nice soft baby pink. So when I'm doing my client's makeup, I always make sure that rather than pulling this area of the brow, which distorts the eye shape, you want to hold the brow from about here. So you've still got the same eye shape, but you've got more of a space to work in. So taking the brush and you're just going in straight like this, into the center. I'm just going to work it around the eye. And this color is just to create a definition on the socket, but it looks like quite a bright color now, but it's actually going to soften right out, because you're just actually, by the time we finish, all you're going to see is this really nice soft edge, which is why you want a really nice big fluffy brush. So I like to do little motions on the way in and then bigger ones, bigger circles on the way out. And that just creates a really nice soft edge on there. And your aim is just make sure that this area here is really nice and smooth, nice and diffused. You don't want any harsh edges there. You just feel like you want to go back in on anything, then you can. Then I'm going to take my 1.19 My Kitco brush, which is my Fluff and Buff brush. And we're going to take the colour Goddess in the same palette. So again, you're taking the brush in a point. I'm holding the brush right at the end, so I've got a really light pressure on there. And I'm going to start in the outer third. And again, I'm just going to go in with a really soft circular motion. So on this, the difference is I've got quite a harsh line now, but I'm going to take the same brush that I started with, back to my Morphe brush, and just really with this, just the excess product from the contour, I'm just going to buff that in. And again, we're really just focusing on everything above here. Anything that's underneath is going to be cancelled out by the base again. So we just want to make sure that that's a really nice, soft, smoky look. Nothing's harsh, no harsh lines. Okay, so I'm back with my Nema Emma brush, and what I'm going to do is carve out the lid now. And rather than go for the 1, I've gone for 0.5 this time in the P. Louise shadow base. And the reason I want to do that is because I really want a really whited out eyelid. I don't want there to be any tone there whatsoever. So there's like a bit of a contrast between the pink and then a white lid. Just want to wet both sides of my brush and just make sure that I've got my brush into the perfect circle. Placing my brush flat to the eye and letting the top of the brush do the most of the work. I'm just following around Ella's socket line. Because this is a cut crease look, what we're going to do is now, again, feeding the brush out so it's a perfect semicircle for us. We're turning the brush flat and we're running it along with her eye. So turn your head for me. So we're running the brush flat and we're just going to bring it in. And that's going to create the start of our cut crease. And we're just going to take the top of the brush and we're just going to run that along to really make that a nice smooth line. So when we first applied it, it kind of had like a right angle look to it, and you just want to make that look like it's a really nice smooth swish. Okay, so we're going to go back in, same on the other side, and match the two eyes up. Using the same brush we used to buff out the base to start off with, I'm just going to take my MAC 217 brush and I'm just going to buff out the bottom edge of this base that we've just used. So again, we don't end up with any harsh lines. And And then taking the same brush that we created the contour shading on the crease line, I'm going to take the same colour, which was Goddess, and just take that brush back and just really diffuse the edge, so just overlapping slightly. So keeping the structure of the cut crease still there. And then taking back again your buffing brush and just feeding that out. So using my Nema brush in Lani, which is a slightly fluffier blending brush, and going back into that same colour we started off with, which is blank canvas, but just on its own this time. And I'm just going to press that onto the lid. Then taking my NYX glitter primer and my Peaches and Cream pigment in Pixie. It's a really nice white pigment, but it's got pink reflexes in it. We want to keep it quite heavy on the lid and then softly smoke it up, which is why I'm using a fluffier brush. Just finishing up along the lash line and out along the crease line, just in a patting motion, which again is going to set that underbase and really hold that pigment on there. So the glue is just setting as you tap it. So I'm going to remove her under eye pads now. Just taking my cleansing wipe and just really gently rubbing in the downwards motion. And then just as I get closer to the edge, I'm just really sharpening that line up to where I want it. So then you just want to match this up on the other side. Taking my NYX Epic Ink Liner in black. This has got a really nice pointy pen nib. For anyone that struggles with eyeliner, this would be a great place to start. It kind of marks out the line for you, so you don't really have to do too much. So I've just literally just done a line. It's not even that straight. It just is where her eye naturally curls up, open for me. And you can just see that's going to follow the line that we've already got. Next we're going to go in with the Kitty Lash, and this Kitty Lash is in style Snowbell. And what I love about these lashes is that they're quite a heavy lash, but they're bandless. So when you're applying them, you're not going to have that really thick dark line, which can often make the lash quite stiff as well, so it's quite difficult to apply. So before I apply my lashes, what I want to do is make sure that my client's lashes are ready with mascara. So I am using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara in waterproof version. I'm going to do her bottom lashes first. So then I'm going to measure the lashes up. The band on these is nice and clear. So to measure an eye, I get my client to look down and just lift the brow. Just along the lash line, I've applied the Eyelure latex-free glue. When they open and look down, that's the widest point of their eye. So you get like a really true size. And I start from the outer corner and just move myself around. Look out this way for me. And then just get her to blink a couple of times for me. Anything feel like it's poking? No? Where Ella has got some Russian lashes on, I can just work them up to sit in between so that they don't sit too high. And then I just take my mascara wand and just wiggle the lashes together so they really sit nicely in between each other. Before I do her under eye, I'm going to do her skin. And what I'm going to apply first is the Glam Glow product, which is the Glow Starter. And I've got this in the Nude Glow. I've actually got this in Pearl Glow as well, which is a slightly whiter colour. But this is a really beautiful highlighting cream. So I'm just taking my Real Techniques brush, which I normally use foundation, but I have started to use with my creams as well. I'm just going to apply a little bit of the product to all the areas of Ella's face, and then just work it down. And you can see already the skin looks really nice, fresh and glowy. I really like a very glowy look, so next up I'm going to use the iconic illuminating drops. These are in colour Original. These are really beautiful, and I like to use them under my foundation just so that throughout the day my client's skin will start to get glowier rather than look really shiny to start off with. Once all my illuminating products are applied to the face, these are all my under base, so I use these as my primer. I'm then going to go in with the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation by NARS, and this is in the colour Santa Fe. Just going to take a couple of pumps of this on the back of my hand. And then I'm going in with my Nude by Nature powder brush. And by using a fluffy brush, I can feed it into the hairline without creating any really light hairs, especially because Ella's hair is very dark. I don't want to leave a really solid foundation line, but I also don't want to turn her hair the same colour as her foundation. Taking my Crown Brush C529, which is a nice blending brush. It's like a gigantic eyeshadow brush basically. And my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion in 1C and 1N. I'm going to apply the product underneath Ella's eye. Using 1C first, which is a slightly pinkier tone, so it's going to cancel out any darkness under the eyes. Ella doesn't have too much, but just in the inner corners. And then taking 1N, you just want to pop that down where your face would naturally be lighter. And then taking my fluffy brush, I'm just going to start doing a side-to-side motion, very gently because under the eye is really sensitive. Once I've applied all my liquid products, I'm then going to go in and set her under eye. I'm going to be using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in medium, and I'm just applying this with one of what has become my favourite brushes from Primark, which is a tapered blush brush. It's really nice and big and fluffy, and it's really just going to help to prop that product in. And starting on the inside of the nose and working that up underneath the eye. You don't really want to take too much of the glow away, so I just do the points where I feel like the skin may get a little bit oily. Back to the Venus XL palette by Lime Crime, and we're going back in with the colours we started with. Starting in the centre, really soft motions. And then taking my Kitco brush again, which is the pencil style brush. And this had Goddess on it, so we're going to take that and just work that up underneath the lash line, getting a little bit closer. So taking the Barry M Waterproof Black Bold Liner. This is a really nice, soft liner pencil. So what I like to do is just keep it really close to the waterline, and where it's so soft you can work out any excess rather than needing to apply it too low. Then taking just another pencil brush, this is one by Urban Decay. So just taking the Bocelli from the Lime Crime XL palette, which is a nice dark purple. And this is just really going to help to smoke out that black without making it look too dark. Just making sure in between all the lashes, it's nice and filled in. And then to finish the eye makeup look, we're going to use the colour Clutch Your Pearls from the Pretty Rich palette from Too Faced. We're going to use this on the inner corner of the eye. So I'm going to get the client to look up and using a pencil tip brush. Next I'm going to be doing our bronzers. My favourite combination for bronzing and contour is the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel, which is like a cream bronze, and the MAC Medium Deep Mineralized Skin Finish. What I love about the Soleil de Tan is that it really warms the skin up, and then the Medium Deep bronze creates a really beautiful contour. So taking my fluffy brush, and I normally start, just turn your head this way for me, on the under the cheekbone, so just from where the tragus on the ear is, and I don't work down because I don't really want to create like a hollowed out look. I just want to create a glowy soft look. So I'm going to follow it along to the edge of the nose. Then taking a slightly smaller, still rounded off brush, which is still going to do quite a lot of the buffing for you. This again is just a Primark brush, it's £1.50, and I love these brushes for applying foundation and for applying bronzers, they're really great. Starting where we started before, just turn your head for me. Keeping it a bit more localised now and just working right down along underneath the cheekbone. Some people do this with a more structured brush or like a smaller brush. If Ella was saying to me, when she came to me as a client and said that she'd like her nose to look a lot smaller, then I would use a smaller brush, blending brush. However, she has got a perfectly straight and symmetrical nose, so we don't need that today. We're just using something to warm the face up. So taking my Tatcha Dewy Skin Mist and spraying it onto my Peaches and Cream PC17 brush, just to wet that brush off. And taking my Laura Mercier Indiscretion highlighter, I'm going to work my damp brush over the product. What this is going to do is going to pick up a lot more product and create a much more bolder highlight. And just pop that on all the places light would naturally hit the face. So top of the cheekbones, a little bit above the brows, down the nose, above the lips and over the chin. I then take my absolute fave, which is MAC in Oh Darling. I use this in most of the looks that I do. I feel like the gold one adds like a real nice pop of colour. So next we will do the blush. This is going to blend the highlight and the bronzer seamlessly. I really love using the Hourglass Luminous Flush blusher. It's a really beautiful pink and highlighter blend. So it's going to add a glow to the skin and add a nice pinky flush. So just going over the skin in between the highlight and the blush in a very soft stroke motion. What I then do is take my bronzer brush that we used earlier and I just blur around the edges of the blusher so there's nothing looking too harsh. So to finish the face, I'm going to go over the brows with Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows in Supermodel. I feel like once you've done the whole face, sometimes some powders or where you've been moving the brows, you can move the product. So you just want to do this as a nice finishing product. And then lastly, that brings us to the lips. For the purposes of this video, we're going all out with Pink Candy Yum Yum from MAC, which is a matte colour. Okay, so once you've got like a nice healthy portion of the lipstick onto the brush, start applying. And I normally start on the bottom centre of the lip just because that's normally the largest part of the client's lip. And then just work around the edges. And And then just want to finish the look with the Continuous Setting Mist by Morphe. So just get the client to close their eyes, and you want to be a little distance away from the face, but they'll be able to feel. And there you are, our finished look. Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, then give us a follow on our Instagram at House of Vanity UK and subscribe to our channel for lots more looks coming up.